yeah, we'll touch upon the themes of the 12 empowerments and then maybe go into the practicalities of them. How do they work? And some of you obviously are doing the 12 empowerments, but then it's a nice way of being with the teaching, going through the empowerments and wherever you are at. And then we could also have shares how it's going for those in the 12 empowerments if you like. That would be nice also for those who maybe are interested. We're doing this also because we last week talked about the 12 empowerments and how do they work practically, but also like what are they about? Okay, so I guess we'll start. Anything else you can think of?
No, that sounds great. Take us away
Okay,
and
I'll share here, but we'll record just that everybody knows, then we can share that. Okay, so the 12 empowerments, 12-part training, community and personal training. Okay, so we'll start here with empowerments 1 to 3. We come to understand how we emphasize our thoughts and emotions, and how this causes suffering. All data are the dynamic energy of open intelligence. So I'll read it first and then I'll share a bit about it. Open intelligence is our basic nature or identity. Open intelligence brings us back to our original condition of benefit. We learn a simple yet powerful practice, short moments many times, how to take short moments of open intelligence. We are guided to apply this practice moment to moment in daily life. Okay, so empowerments 1 to 3 is is the introduction to open intelligence. Is how do we actually take short moments of open intelligence? And these are all texts, the 12 empowerments. Each empowerment is the body of text, and that evokes open intelligence. And then there are questions attached to them that then bring open intelligence to your own personal life and circumstances. So recognizing that all our data, all our thoughts and emotions are the dynamic energy of open intelligence is the introduction to open intelligence. When we see, okay, well, everything that appears as appearances of open intelligence. And we can understand that to a certain degree, obviously intellectually, but then we really want to know this in our own direct experience. And especially that open intelligence is our basic nature and identity. So with the text and while we are going through the empowerments, we can have the opportunity to also practice, like take short moments along the way. And because every short moment is like confirming that open intelligence is right here. And initially it feels like, okay, well, we don't know what is open intelligence and how that is actually benefit and how everything would be entirely beneficial. And all these questions get addressed through one's own direct experience. And so this simple and powerful practice, not always easy to take a short moment when maybe emotions or sensations are strong and challenging, but we are like guided to take short moments regardless of how it feels or how it looks, more the quantity rather than the quality. But also empowerment 1 to 3 give a foundation to give us more, well, at least it helps us to gain confidence in open intelligence. Basically, by having the 4 mainstays, we'll go into that actually here. Maybe Jochen, you wanted to take
sure.
this here.
Yeah, great. Open intelligence is something about us that is always stable and clear. Just like a crystal ball is unaffected by whatever images appear, the nature of mind, open intelligence, remains lucid and clear regardless of the data, thoughts, emotions, sensations that arise within it. Yeah, so for some we've had glimpses or like an instinctive recognition of open intelligence maybe in our life. For other people, this is like completely new. All we might have known until then is just data, basically. That's how I've lived most of my life, is just only ever looking at my thoughts, emotions, sensations, and trying to rearrange them. And so in the first three empowerments, we really get this introduction again and again to recognize that the nature of mind is this crystal ball-like expanse in which all data appear, abide, and self-resolve. So there is nothing we need to do about them. And we test this basically in our everyday life and take short moments. That's the first three empowerments you can also see as that foundation, considering that people come from all kinds of backgrounds. I think the youngest person I can remember doing the empowerments was 15, and then we had somebody in their late 80s, I think. And from all different backgrounds and countries and like professional backgrounds and spiritual backgrounds or no spiritual background at all. So the first three empowerment basically set a foundation that then also gives everybody the opportunity to continue further with the empowerments. To scroll a bit. Resting naturally as open intelligence for short moments during daily activities. You'll hear that many, many times as you have been if you've come here for some time. Um, we keep repeating this. We can take short moments of open intelligence while walking, talking, washing up, speaking, running, shopping, working, basically to recognize the inseparability. We don't need to be in a special place or be in a special state internally in order to recognize open intelligence. Wherever we are, whatever we do, we recognize in a short moment that open intelligence is already naturally present. That's what we recognize in a short moment. It's already naturally present and greatly complete. When we rely on open intelligence rather than emphasizing our thoughts and emotions, we have a vaster view and experience the soothing energy and clarity of open intelligence. Yeah, so we experience the direct effect of like releasing the grip on our data, basically. Like the tension that we have from trying to manage our thoughts, emotions, our life constantly. When we relax that grip, we can experience this soothing energy and that clarity that opens up. Just like I love that picture here, the view, the 360-degree view all around us when we're on a mountaintop. That's a short moment of open intelligence. Is like sitting on a mountaintop rather than only seeing the vista from being in a gorge or in a valley. We have a much wider, more balanced perspective. Do you want to continue there, Kati?
Yes, great. Also, in the first three empowerments, we look actually exactly how data have affected our lives and how how we deal with thoughts and emotions, the four ways how we handle our thoughts and emotions. So we all know how it is to indulge our thoughts and emotions and make a story around everything we feel, sense, or think, and make cause effect relationships and why something feels this way and that way. And then thoughts are avoided, emotions are avoided. We try not to think about it. We try to avoid places and people that feel like evoke our anger or bring up sadness or anxiety. So these kinds of ways of dealing with the data, basically, or it's replaced. Cultivate a positive thinking, compassion, or try to be a good person, and try to go somewhere or do something that makes us feel better. So these are the typical ways of, we all have our ways, and we all use all of them. Obviously, have learned to use all of them in one way or another. But the fourth one is like the introduction to open intelligence and how we can let data be as it is, as appearances, as the dynamic energy of open intelligence. So we won't go too much into that now, but it's just like also part of the initial empowerment is to see actually the effect of data and how we have indulged, avoided, and replaced data. And then how we have another choice to leave them as they are. But for that, we also want to know what is open intelligence and see the difference, how it is like we rely on open intelligence instead of emphasizing our data. So we're not pushing data away, it's just simply not emphasizing them, not trying to fix them, fix ourselves. This is a choice we can make. And Johan talked about the inseparability. So here's another metaphor that evokes the inseparability of data with open intelligence can be likened to a breeze blowing through the air. The breeze and the air are inseparable. Both are air. When a breeze blows, it is the dynamic energy of air. When data stir, they are the dynamic energy of open intelligence. And so I really like that metaphor, the breeze and the air. They're inseparable. It's just impossible to take them apart. They're just the expression of air. Both are air, and that's the same as data and open intelligence. And it's like the color blue in the sky. Also, they're inseparable. There's no sky without the color blue, and no blue without the sky in this kind of sense. And that is something we don't really need to have more of an understanding. These metaphors evoke in the natural short moments makes it more and more obvious that open intelligence is within us. It's not something we have to get, not some special state, not some special feeling or sensation. It's everything. And it's the dynamic energy of everything. So we can count on open intelligence in every moment. And that trust and that confidence increases naturally. So that's like actually the trust that I have when going through the 12 empowerments, or when anybody goes through the empowerments. It's clear that there is a natural increase of gaining confidence in open intelligence. It just happens. It's basically just going, and so there's no like stress around it because it's clear that it's gonna be the case because it's already our natural state and our nature. It makes sense that that becomes more and more obvious. It's far harder to hold an identity in place than the natural way of being. Because keeping some data in place, it's kind of an impossible task for a long time. So even though open intelligence is innate, we have to acknowledge it because it has gone unnoticed. So that makes sense too, that just by the emphasis of data, open intelligence went unnoticed. What's also introduced naturally, and how we also speak here in the meetups, is about how can we rely on open intelligence and what is the support system for that, to gain confidence in open intelligence, which the 12 empowerments are exactly the four mainstays, basically. So meaning that support system, it's like an algorithm. It's all open intelligence expression. So obviously the practice of short moments, repeated many times, become automatic. That's the first. And then a trainer who can share their experience. Another mainstay, we can write, ask questions, and hear their experience, and also hear about how we can, the pitfalls, basically. It's like when you have a trainer for, it's also in the empowerments, the example of climbing a mountain. You want to know which is the path that leads directly up, that is most easy, that doesn't, that isn't dangerous, basically. Not that that's dangerous, but just we can go into extremes, and that can feel, yeah, it can feel harmful, and we make open intelligence into something. Um, yeah. So then read the media, videos, texts like the 12 empowerments, texts that evoke open intelligence, another mainstay, another support aspect. Text, and we all have experience with just reading text or the books that we have online or the audios. They naturally support taking a short moment, because sometimes it's like difficult. How do I take a short moment? Then we can just listen to a talk or read the text, and that's a natural short moments. We don't even have to take them. It's like it's just confirms the short moments. Sometimes there's some participants, Rinpoche said, yeah, well, you don't need to take short moments, just show up. We talked a bit about that last week, and because when it feels like too difficult to take a short moment, or yeah. So that's that. And then the community of people sharing the experience of open intelligence. So that, of course, is also always such a support when we see others do it. Others share their powerful experience or their experience, and then we can relate. We know it's for them, it's for us. Same. Great. Yes. Yeah, would you like to?
Yeah, happy to continue there. So based on that foundation of the first three empowerments, we then have empowerments 4 to 9. We specifically examine belief systems and data that have impacted all areas of our life. We investigate how data have played out in our relationships and decision making. We gain confidence in open intelligence while harmonizing relationships, including the relationship with ourselves, and everything is empowered in the context of open intelligence. So in empowerments 4 to 9, we basically use what we've learned, like that foundation of the practice, and then we bring that into all the areas of life that have felt sticky, tricky, or whatever has been difficult for us in our personal life to really empower with open intelligence. Maybe there are specific relationships with people. Maybe there are aspects of daily life, like at our work, where we feel we keep getting caught up in certain dynamics or in certain data. And so empowerments 4 to 9 is a really powerful inventory, basically, of all of the potentials that can sidetrack us in our practice. And so we really look at them in great detail there. And then the powerful shift is we're not looking at them to then analyze them and go into endless stories. We look at them and then empower them with that view of open intelligence, so that based on that innate capacity to be of benefit, to be clear, to be wise and discerning, to be compassionate, we can then make changes in those specific areas of our life. And in that way, really integrate the practice into all areas and relationships and aspects of life. So we face everything and avoid nothing. Face everything as it is, the beneficial energy of open intelligence that is entirely beneficial by nature, the freedom in immediate perception, and the complete perceptual openness in all experience. So we recognize that by looking directly through the eyes of open intelligence, so to speak, at all these areas of life, we can see that maybe the things we thought we had to indulge, avoid, or replace, we didn't even see another way. Suddenly, we do see another way. We see that we can maintain that complete perceptual openness without even trying, just by repeatedly practicing when those things arise in daily life. And we become entirely ready to let data be as it is. Open intelligence is pure beneficial energy. So even though we look at all the data specifically, the main practice always remains the same. We let data be as it is. We rest for short moments again and again. So far in life, we've trained ourselves in relying on data naming and a divided world of subjects, objects, and worlds. Now we're training ourselves in open intelligence and its powers of great benefit. The same process is used as in our training in data naming: introduction, recognition, practice, listening, hearing, reading, and writing. So the tools we're using is basically the same that we went through in learning, that we are, the person we take ourselves to be, that we have heard over many, many years again and again, and reinforce that through a lot of repetition. We use the same process essentially to then train ourselves to recognize open intelligence instead. Do you want to continue there, Kati?
Right. Yeah, and then an aspect, and obviously that's harmonizing relationships. That's what naturally occurs by the power of relying on open intelligence. We gradually stop avoiding relationships as a means to lessen anxiety or fear. So, and that's then as one of the themes in the 12 empowerments, we see how we avoid relationships, how we avoid ourselves with our thoughts and emotions, and and with the power of open intelligence, we see that there's more and more an increasing fearlessness. We don't fear our data, and that also supports social situations, relationships, maybe any kind of conflict, so to speak, in relationships, work, or private life. So there's opening up of beneficial energy and ability to respond to situations, to people, to ourselves as well, with within all data, and seeing how we can bring benefit to ourselves and others. Yeah, that's a big part of that. And then it moves into empowerments 10 to 12, where then we make open intelligence obvious in all daily activities and gain confidence in open intelligence, and how to support that gaining confidence in open intelligence. So it's empowerments 10 and through 12 are very practical in that way too. How can I integrate and practice short moments? So we allow our qualities and activities to be spontaneously informed by our innate power to be of benefit. We get to know our specific strengths, gifts, and talents, and empower those with the short moments practice. So getting to know ourselves, also our strengths, gifts, and talents that we might have avoided out of fear or out of data, basically, that might hold us back, unworthiness, and there are many data that feel limiting. And then we further integrate the ease of being into all aspects of living, working, and relating. Yeah, and open intelligence, degrading and diminishing aspects of data are cleared up, and very powerful energy is released, the powerful energy of beneficial qualities and activities. Very specifically, there's even more more empowerment of what does it mean, the benefit of all, the powerful energy of beneficial qualities and activities. And so that's also part of empowerment 10 through 12. We rely on open intelligence rather than on emphasizing data streams. With this, there's open intelligence spread throughout data without rejecting any particular datum at all. The emphasis is on open intelligence rather than data streams. It was similar to spontaneously allowing a heavy load to fall from to the ground. So that relief is really often very obvious. And all data rests in intelligence is potency, so that potency, so suddenly data are like friends rather than they were the foes we needed to keep at bay and manage. All data shine forth as the potency of open intelligence and subside in open intelligence as a matter of course. Nothing need to be done to change the naturally perfect flow of data. Yeah, so maybe we can pause maybe here and see for questions. We do have, well, we did put a screenshot of the modules that one can see. These are all the empowerments are online. And then each of the empowerments, I'll just go through it briefly here. Open up to videos with Rinpoche. Then one of us explains the practicalities of the empowerment. Then you have the empowerment one text, empowerment one questions. And then you have an audio file that has a group recorded with their answers. So it feels like you have also hear other people's responses. And then you answer your own questions. Well, you do that actually before you hear the responses. And then there's also an audio to the text as well. In case reading the text, then you can also listen to the text read by the community. And then also part of it, yes, part of it you go, just what we here spoke, but then also the email support of the trainer throughout while you're responding to each empowerment question, the Q&As we use here on the meetups, and then also personal calls. Yeah, I'll pause here. It's basically the entire practical structure. I know that some of you are there, but I just added this for those who are not doing the 12 empowerments and wanted to know. And yeah, so maybe we could have questions, and we can also have shares of those who are doing the 12 empowerments, which is always lovely. And yeah, let's open up and see. Duncan, yes, I see you.
Hi, Kathy. Hello,
Hello
Jochen,
there.
and everybody. So nice to be here. I just wanted to share something that I shared on another call. Just this realization came to me. It was just like a ton of bricks hit me that as the training has evolved through this time, I did it officially going on 15 years ago, and to see how it's evolved into this super, super, super supported vehicle to introduce everybody and to open intelligence, and specifically the 12 empowerments are just I told Joachim this. I'm like, I'm jealous because look what you have here. It's when I did it, it was like it was me and three other people and Mia and Adam, and it just has grown into this thing that you are helped, and your questions here, no matter at what point you are in the training, you can bring them into these calls and share outside of doing the classwork and get even more support. And it's just amazing how it's just grown, and it's just, you guys are so lucky. That's all I have to say. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. And it's just beautiful to see all your shining faces. And thank you very much, Kathy and Joachim, for letting me share.
Well, thank you, Duncan. That's so sweet. Yeah, it's true. It's nice to hear. Great. Oh yeah, Holly. Yeah, please, that's perfect. Yes, nice to see you.
Okay, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Yeah, so I'm on empowerments. I finished 7 and I took a break because I'm traveling, and so I've been, studying lots of different courses over the last probably 25 years. And the only way I can really distill this, because I'm thinking about the audience here and what would be beneficial, is for me, it's been really interesting, even with all the spiritual work that I've done. And there's this it's like an onion, and you're just pulling the layers off the onion. And to some extent, I've done that with a lot of other work, but I would say that with short moments, with all the videos and the reading and taking short moments and really being with the community, what I have discovered is it feels like a bullseye teaching for me. It doesn't feel like it's sort of on the periphery anymore. It feels like there's almost like no running and hiding anymore, because I think I used not deliberately, but I think a lot of the teachings that I've done in the past have enabled me to sort of skirt the fundamental being that is there naturally as open intelligence, and kind of kept an identity going. And so taking an identity and sort of making a better identity and making a spiritual identity. And I have done it all, I feel like. So, but as far as short moments go, um, I had to make some notes because there's been so many different things I didn't want to miss. Two things have come out for me, taking short moments. One is it's incredible how much our data will take us down the same road over and over and over again. So taking a short moment is like opening up to the intelligence, open intelligence. I mean, it's right there in the word. It's like other possibilities that would never come up if I'm indulging, avoiding, or replacing. I'm busy focused on that data. Nothing else can come into my field of intelligence. So that's one just really simple benefit. The second benefit is observing the transient nature of data has been extremely empowering, because I mean, really, some of that afflictive data can be so powerful and pull us in. And I watch myself go into it now, and I watch it aware. And sometimes it's too hard for me to, like, I'll take a short moment and then I'll come out of the short moment and just start strangling my problem again. And I'm going to wrestle it to the ground. But it's like there's awareness in the background as I'm doing it. And I can also appreciate that that just moves, it just goes. And there's a very powerful thing that happens when you start to see how much data is just moving, coming and going, coming and going. Is that you, open intelligence is just there always. It's the most perfect way of experiencing it instead of just knowing it, which I've been very intellectual in a lot of my pursuits of understanding consciousness. And so this has been one where I can't do that anymore. Like, you can keep doing the intellectual, but you got to take a short moment. And when you do that, you open up to this other world that I've avoided. It's fascinating. It's really wonderful. So I hope that helps.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Holly. Amazing. Yeah, great that it's, thank you for sharing. You also said you'd like to ask a question as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Am I
Jean,
muted?
yes. Oh,
Am I
yes.
am I
It,
muted? Let's see.
no, you're not muted,
Oh,
Jean.
good, good, good.
Perfect. Yes.
All right. I have to say Holly expressed exactly what are my thoughts and feelings, but much more with a much better expression than I could have ever produced. So thank you, Holly. I usually stumble when speaking and I can't find my words. But yeah, the question has to do with what Holly expressed so beautifully was this past weekend, I was with two different parts of my family, two different sides of family, which, obviously lots and lots of data. And I was going to try to avoid as much as possible, and felt like, well, that is just not the way to do this. So went in, everything came up. And my question is, I hardly slept a wink last night. I mean, I did sleep on and off for very short periods, but most of the night, I had all of that afflictive emotion flowing through me very strongly. And so I was continually trying to remember to rest, to open, to allow completely, and not to go off into that those stories. And I was not, I would say it was only, I would say maybe I was 30% successful in being in open awareness, and I felt the relief. It was almost a happy feel. It was almost like a everything's fine feeling, not an ecstatic feeling, but just a feeling of relief. And then, oh, wow, everything's fine. Even with all this going on, everything's fine. And then up inside, the sensations in my body would come guilt, shame, sadness, grief, and then tremendous fear. I'm not sure what the fear has, why the fear's in there, but regardless, it's there. And so then I'd have to, oh, yeah, okay, here we go again. Let's try this again. So my question is this normal that you might have to do this for 8 hours at a time, going in and out, because your data is so, these afflictive emotions are coming at you. And Holly mentioned this, that it comes back up and she strangles the story again. You know, it's you're locked in that conflict again, and you only experience that rest for, you know, if I was lucky last night, at maybe 30 seconds at a time, and then I'd be back in it again, and I'd try to rest it off on all night. So is that normal, or am I just like really, really psycho? I don't know how to put it.
No, well, this is totally normal. Totally
Oh,
normal. Totally normal. And actually, it's amazing that you would say, like, even like 30 seconds and a 30%, you said something like, wow,
yeah.
that is already like, that's really powerful. Actually, sometimes we only experience it like a 1 second, tiny little second a day. You know, that can be very normal in the beginning. So
Okay.
very normal. And what also happens, data could become more initially when you start practicing, also when going through the empowerments. There
Yeah.
is something, because you are actually not employing too much avoiding and replacing and data, you know, our usual strategies. So actually we feel more open, actually more vulnerable.
Mhm. Okay.
It's part of gaining confidence with open intentions, that is completely open.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So
Good to know.
you have a very powerful experience there.
Well,
And
it's going to continue because I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling those afflictive emotions. So as soon as our meeting is over, I'll be laying down and going back in and out, and then I'll read for a little time. Maybe I'll do a few chores around the house, eat a meal. But in between all of that, we'll be stopping and trying to regain that recognition of what's always there, that remembrance of, wait a minute, what's always here? What's always here?
yeah, that's
I don't know if,
perfect.
yeah, okay, thank you.
No,
Sometimes I
that's
just have doubts. Am I doing this correctly? Am I doing this right? But thank
yes,
you.
that's also very normal, especially in the beginning. No, you know, like beginning, a long time beginning. I remember having done the 12 empowerments, and sometimes that thought comes up, am I actually doing it right? And that is just
Yeah,
also another thought. You know,
yeah,
we doubt ourselves, or we criticize, but at the same time, it's also very normal that gaining confidence part is really what happens with the four mainstays. with the 12 empowerments is like really having the support to confirm that we are doing it. Yeah, that it's actually the instinctive recognition of open intelligence and not another state we're trying to cultivate or
Yes.
something, right?
Yeah, it's for me, that's a discerning that is it's intellectually, it's very difficult for me.
Yeah.
But I know the only thing I can go on is that when I either sit or lay down to purposely practice the short moments, if I feel like, if I'm feeling the afflictive emotion, if I feel a sense of complete relief and almost just a feeling of well-being, and very fleetingly though, I feel like that was it. That was it, because I was out of it for a moment, completely disconnected from that a bad feeling, whatever it was, whatever horrible emotion it was. And I felt just free of all those things, and just a feeling of well-being. That's when I feel like, okay, that is that awareness, being in that. That's, to me, is my intellectual understanding of that's my awareness. I touched on that, or I touched in that, or I recognized that. I'm struggling with correct words to express that, but
Yeah.
is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, and I will say something though about that.
Yes, please.
Because this is good. I think you don't have to try too hard.
Okay.
It's good to listen to talks, to read books, or if you do the 12 empowerments, read the text of the 12 empowerments, rather than trying sometimes too hard to recognize that we're okay in the midst of everything. Because sometimes that won't feel like that.
Right.
And open intelligence is present. So this will be also part of the training and gaining confidence, is that even if we don't feel okay, we're okay, but we don't feel it actually.
Yes, I
You know,
see.
there's a depth to that open intelligence that is really all inclusive. Otherwise, it'll have to be, that still, I would say, continue on with the short moments, like you're doing, not too much trying to, well, it's fine to lie down and, and rest. And if that's supportive, for some, in certain times, that's very supportive. But also you practice equally with taking texts, with walking, with doing things. And it will naturally be more instinctive. And continue on as you do, but that other part will be an important part as well.
I think I'm really thankful that you mentioned that, even when you don't feel okay, that is like when the afflictive emotion is there and I'm feeling it fully.
Yeah.
To know that awareness that is it too.
Yeah.
It's not that I have to wait to feel relief. No. Oh, here's no, it's there too.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. My habitual thought is that anything that feels bad is separate from the open intelligence. And I thank you for reminding me of that. I got to make a note, put it all over the place so I don't forget. That's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. That is a relief in itself, actually. Yes. Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Yes, and perfect. Thank you for sharing. And then also Eileen, yes, hello, how are you doing? Nice to see you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. The first comment I'd just like to make on something you just said about, as you start the empowerment, sort of even more data come up because there's more space for it. And I have to say, in my experience, that is an absolute understatement. It is so true. I felt an absolute onslaught of data. I had this mental image of, when you're trying to swap flies, I just, there's no way that I could actually release all this data. I felt like I was pinned against a wall and all this data was just coming at me from all angles, and the space was rammed full with stuff. And that is still the case. But what I'm just noticing more that was all there, running my life, living my life. That's how I responding to this data. So it is almost funny now. Not quite funny, but almost funny when I see how just so much data is actually presenting itself to me from every which way. And I'm able to see, well, bring it on then, great, because it is at least known, it is seen, whereas before it was just running my life. So that was just something you mentioned just recently, but also something I would like to say is that I've just nearly finished Empowerment 7, and there's something for me that a really subtle shift, because I heard it in the presentation at the beginning and I've heard it a million times and I know it intellectually, and it was about letting data to be as it is. But for the first time, perhaps a day or two, going through Empowerment 7, what I really felt is what that really meant. So the way for me to describe it is, let's take an apple, something pretty, that innocuous, that hopefully wouldn't trigger too many things for people. So I would be very subtly resting with an apple as an apple, not as it is, which is open intelligence. So I would be, and it's very difficult for me to sort of explain, but the shift is, it's not an apple, it's open intelligence, and we call it an apple. So it's not about not being human, because one of my fears around starting these 12 empowerments, I didn't want to dissociate myself from my very human experience. If it was about transcending or ascending and living in this bubble of, then it wasn't for me. But it isn't that at all. It's actually really, belt and braces, live your life, whatever that looks like. So when I say an apple is not an apple, it's not anything, I'm not meaning anything spiritual at all, but it's seeing that the apple's essence, this body's essence, is open into it. There can't be anything else. So there's a shift from the intellect, and I live out of my intellect most of the time, to being as it is its true essence, rather than the data. So thank you. That's
beautiful. Yeah, Eileen, thank you so much for sharing. That's very, very beautiful. We can directly feel that. Thank you for sharing. Yes, wonderful. Great. Oh, and Laurie, how are you doing? Hi there.
Hi.
Mm.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just finishing Empowerment 1. And I relate to everything that's being said. The most powerful thing that's happening is, so I've been doing the short moments, or the short moments have been practiced for about 3 months now. And what I'm finding is the only volition that is present is my choice or the choice in each moment and it's sort of a sense of releasing from the data and just being without, but the data is anyway, it's for me, the practice is moment to moment. It's not during a seeming crisis because there is no crisis versus a beautiful moment in the backyard, so to speak. It's all very even. It's becoming very even. And the evenness is not in the circumstance or condition appearing. It's in here. That's the evenness. Because there's no evenness in the appearances at all. And but they seem to have no, they're not less jagged as my evenness is not but the evenness is more sustained and established and become familiar with. And then that gives a lot of ease and a lot of confidence in this practice. And the other thing that's appearing, I mean, my background is the background is a lot of Advaita. So this is the end for me, the end of knowing that what appearances are, where they originate, how they dissolve, and what actually it is happening within, and actually not happening in some way. It's not a happening, but it's a apparent happening. It's an apparent happening, and the thing that's most captivating about it is it's all that knowledge in Advaita is so essential because it's all coming together, and it's the witness that Advaita talks about. It is a witnessing, but it incorporate. There's no distance, although there seems to be distance. But it's beautiful. It's a lot of ease, and the thing that is there's no doer. As it's rests itself, there's no doing or a doer seeming to do anything except just rest or relax or something. But the doing is its own happening. I don't know. That's my experience so far.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Nice to hear from you. Great. Wonderful. Yeah, it's great to hear about the experiences going through the empowerments. That's always supportive. Your different expressions. Let's see if there are other shares or also questions just before we. Yes, Guido. Yes, great.
Yes, so this is a 12-week program, right?
Yes, I mean, essentially, you go through it in your own pace. So some go quicker, but also many go also slower, depending on, and as we heard, can take a pause after certain empowerments if needed. So it's a bit, but at 12 week, we say one empowerment a week.
Okay. And how much time does it take just to
Each
go through the material and the resources?
It's a bit different for each empowerment. So there could be like between at least 2 hours and then there are longer empowerments that will require like 6 hours. That's probably the top. And then it's a variation of how you reread. We don't have to study these. It would be enough to read it once, listen to the videos once, and then go through the questions. That's perfect. But some like to revisit. But can have it also through the week. You take the text and read parts of it. Also, one is encouraged to write certain parts of it out, which is also everything is just a short moment, evokes open intelligence. But then the questions writing and then sending that to the trainer, being in touch. So all of that, 2 to 6 hours, I would say. That's my
Okay, thanks.
rough. And then it's great to have a one-to-one call to set oneself up for these 12 empowerments. And and then we have this space here, and sometimes we go into themes of certain empowerments, seeing also, but we have also, as you heard, people in empowerment 1 or 7 or just finished or finished a long time. So it's a whole mix here. So that's a good place for questions, but also shares. Great. Yes. Karin.
Is there also a group in Germany from your?
Well, actually, there is a German clarity call on Sundays. It's not like a group who's going through the 12 empowerments. They have done the 12 empowerments, or it's open to people who are new. They read text in German, and then but read the books. It's like a clarity call.
I ask also, especially because of the trainer. I understand everything, but I have difficulties to express myself and therefore I would prefer a German trainer.
Of course, yes.
And another question is, can I just listen here as often as I want in this group?
Yes.
Okay,
You can come.
you.
We have people who are there to the 12 empowerments, just listen and come or share, but also just listening is perfect. And we can also have a call, as you maybe hear, but I'm from Germany. So
you are from Germany?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you
Kann
will
Deutsch sprechen. Yes, can
okay,
speak German.
that's
Yes.
fine.
Yes. So we can talk in German as well. Maybe not on this call here, but in terms of personal. Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Great. Well,
Kathy, I just posted the link for our calendar
oh yeah, for
to
the
book a
one.
call. And we'll also send a link to the recording if you want to revisit what we've been going through today, and then include this link so that you can book a call if you'd like to talk more and maybe share more about your experience so far, and then we can consider and answer all the questions also. Yeah.
Great. Well, good. And actually, you might have seen we are going to do a couple of more meetups in the next weeks for different time zones. So we'll see. We send out a poll so that we get a sense where people generally would like. We will do also an Australian time zone, and which is afternoon in the US, and things like that. So we'll have a couple more meetups, but this one will obviously remain the Tuesday. We will continue meeting here, but you'll see us other days, times as well, scheduling a call. Okay, good. Thank you all. See you soon again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Great rest of your days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.